Alright, howdy guys, how's it going? I was intending to load up a full-on, hour-long commentary on Season 1, Episode 3 of Smallville, because I got a new software that let me record things while I spoke about the things which it was I was talking about and watching. However, the image of the actual episode did not come through on the recording, so instead of being able to give you guys a full commentary, I'm just going to go over a little bit of what it is I said in that video. For instance, in the beginning of the episode, we have a huge parallel shot to what it is at the end of the episode. At the beginning of the episode, it's cold, it's dark, there's rain everywhere. It's not necessarily something that you'd find comfortable. It's very much the polar opposite of what happens in the ending of the episode, where it's actually they're inside. Yet they're not even outdoors anymore. They're inside. It's the inner inside of the building's on fire. It's very dry. It's hot. It's not. It's the polar opposite. The lighting's completely different. It's a nice arc. It's a nice journey that the characters go through, where it goes from this beginning stage to an ending stage. And I have a couple of images here from the episode pulled up. For instance, that would be the main character. The main character of the episode is a coach who tried his best to coach a couple of kids into becoming good, football players, and he wanted to help them, but he became less of that of a protagonist and more of that of an antagonist as the episode went on. And he was the football coach. You see here, right in the bottom, in the middle three pictures, right there. There's actually he's like the one on the far left, the one that starts with metahuman Smallville wiki fandom power ... It's he actually at the end of the episode catches himself on fire because he can control fire. He can actually light things on fire. He's very much so a telekinetic pyrokinetic. It's kind of an interesting story. It's kind of an interesting character arc. There's also this image down here on the bottom left where Clark is got his face burned. That reminds me of a scene in the episode. It's not actually from the episode, but that reminds me of a scene from the episode where Clark saves Chloe from the Smallville torch being burned down. Once again, you got a couple of images here from the episode. Most of them are from the beginning of the episode, where we see Clark, Pete, and Chloe just walking into high school. I mentioned that there's a lot of amazing visual storytelling in this episode. It really is quite an amazing, visually filled and visually interesting episode. And I mean, not just like, oh, that's kind of neat. It's nice visual. It's very interesting to see the way that they position things, the lighting, the composition, the angles of the characters. There's the main premise that I noticed throughout this entire episode is the main characters are asking themselves, the main characters being Lana, Clark, and Lex. They're asking themselves, what does it mean to be my own person? And that's an interesting premise to develop it's only the third episode of this entire season, but it's very interesting to see that that's the main premise of this episode, it appears. And I mean, that's something that's said throughout the entire episode. So it would make sense that that's the main premise of the episode. In this episode, Clark feels that his father doesn't necessarily trust him in terms of what it is that he's capable of doing. And so there's a lot of tension between Clark and his father. That's like the main cast for the Season 1 story arc, right? And Lana's aunt is unappreciative of Lana quitting cheerleading, and she wants her to get back into cheerleading, but Lana refuses to, and so that's something that I like about her character. It shows some growth there. And Lex Luthor is very distant from his father. I mean, the position of the actors in this scene in this photo alone, pretty much sums up the entirety of that episode that I'm talking about. I would love to get in more depth, but I do believe that I'm running a little bit late for dinner, so I regret to inform you guys I did not get to actually record the full video. However, I'm going to try my best to continue to bring you guys content. And without further ado, that's me signing off.